I want to make a couple announcements before we get started. Many of you have already signed up for this, but we have an event on November the 8th. It is a visit to the Hunt Oil Company corporate headquarters. It's right downtown Dallas. They're going to host a number of students from, I believe, 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. It will include speaking with several of their STEM professionals in different departments, understanding and getting to see how a project originates and is developed through to completion. They'll serve you lunch. There'll be some time for question and answer. You'll go down into their development center. Wonderful opportunity, especially to see how many different STEM professions are required to get one program from start to finish. So I have a few questions. No, not enough questions. I have a few spots left. It's been one of those days, as a few of you said, what location am I at? We're all together here. I have a few spots left for this event. Please don't raise your hand and tell me about it now. Please email me. It'll be a first come, first served basis for the last few spots. It's a great opportunity, kind of a pilot program. We're hoping that this grows into other visits to different companies, corporations throughout the area. So please keep that in mind if you're interested. Shoot me an email. I've had a couple questions about the spring semester and if you need to apply to be a STEM scholar in the spring semester. The answer is no, you do not. When you were admitted over the summer, it was for the full academic year, for the fall and the spring. So assuming that you meet all of the requirements, take care of all your parts, you are welcome to continue in the spring. You do not need to do anything. We'll take care of all of that for you. Somebody asked me, well, what if I know somebody that would be great to be added in the spring? That's exactly why we have the application open. So yes, please direct them to that application. We want more folks just like you. We're very lucky to have some spots because of funding and whatnot. So please direct them to us. We had a few other things about financial aid, guys. We are working on it as hard, as fast as we can. I don't want to get into too many details because everybody's situation is a little bit different, but the process just got a little not right. District financial aid is working on this. They understand what needs to be fixed. It's just a process that involves many, many departments. And so we really are working on this as quickly as possible. The goal is to essentially get everybody back to square one to get their full award amounts from all of the different scholarships and grants that they are entitled to. So thank you for your patience on that. It's been a challenge, and I really do appreciate y'all's patience. Let's see. I'm going to have to read this one because I'm not going to get it right if I don't. Alpha, Zeta, Omicron. Did I say that right? Great. The Phi Theta Kappa chapter at Cedar Valley College will be hosting an event called Define on November the 16th from 12 to 2 p.m. at the Student Center. This event is meant to help students define and understand their identity in order to make them more competitive in their fields of study. The students will be connected to universities and internships that will best suit their interests. For more information, visit define.eventbrite.com. One more to add to that. Alpha Zeta Omicron is also in the process of creating an app that will help students find the courses that they will transfer to surrounding universities, as well as general and departmental scholarships. This app is scheduled to be done by December. More information will come later on in this progress. Those announcements were requested by Mr. John McLean. John, where are you, sir? Right there. If you have questions or need some more information about that event or the app, please see John. He'll be able to give you all the information you're asking for. So, on to the big stuff, which is this evening in this event. As you can see, the setup is a little bit different. This is not the one speaker in front of you telling you all the cool stuff that you can do in the future. This event is really about education planning, career planning, and also how to work that plan. It's set up a bit like speed dating. So it seems like a lot of you have already, why am I not shocked that you've already taken the initiative to find where you may want to start. It's about conversations. You've all received the program and a little bit about this. So what will happen when we get started is that you'll have the opportunity to ask questions, give ideas, share ideas, information, with the people at your selected area. After about 15 minutes or so, I'm going to ring this bell. Hold on. You should have seen the search to find a bell that would actually, yeah, it took days. It was amazing. If any of our students were, any of you all are returning scholars, you know, last year at the STEM Summit, this is what we used for our University Roundtable session. So it seemed to work. We'll keep at it. But when the bell rings, please get up and switch to another section. Even if you're not quite sure what it's about, I promise you, you'll find some information that will be useful to you. So at this time, I am going to introduce everybody that's here and in the room, so you know exactly who you're speaking with. To my left, the first table is Transfer Services, Miss Jackie Glee and Miss Sunny Huang. I know. See, I'm just, yeah. In any case, thank you very much for being here, ladies. In the back left corner, we have the University of Texas at Dallas. Get my cheat sheet. Floyd Dorsey, Haley King, and Edgar Nunez are available to speak to you. We are expecting representatives from University of Texas at Arlington and University of North Texas, but given the traffic, we know that, hopefully they'll make it here in one piece and be okay. When they come, I'll just ask them to sit down and catch their breath and join in the conversation when they are ready. In the back right corner, we have DCCCD Career Services, Miss Krista Jones, that will really speak with you about what you can expect in the professional world, what things are trending, what the hot topics are, the hot jobs. So it's a wealth of knowledge. We're very happy to have her with us. To my right, we have STEM faculty fellows. They're here to talk to you about how to get the most from your mentor experience. They're all returning fellows, have done this for 2 and maybe even 3 years at this point. So they're very happy to speak to you today. And my immediate right is Dr. Peggy Shattuck, the District Director of the STEM Institute. Dr. Shattuck is sort of the piece that is the how to work those plans you're making, talking about professional associations, things that you can do in school and as you enter the professional world to really become part of that world and network and such. So a sincere thank you to all our presenters and speakers. I think we're in for a great event. So we're just about ready to get started. It's going to be a little loud. It's going to be a little crazy. Try to be mindful of that. These are conversations. Not all of your questions will be answered immediately, but that's okay. We want you to sort of get intrigued and discover new things that you want to explore more. So if you have questions, you can always go to the speaker, get their information, or come through me and we can ask more questions. You are not required to visit all 5 sections. So if there is something that you need to learn a little bit more, then you can stay at that section twice if need be. So before I start, do we have any questions about the format? No? Did everybody find the food in the middle? Fantastic. All right, so in the spirit of the bell. Do it.
So let's look at this first. About transfer services, we all want to transfer to university, but we want to navigate the process well. But before you do any of that, you need to do the research. I make some tips for you what you can look at. But the most important thing is you always want to consider where you want to go. We have a transfer convening next Friday. Some people were talking about, well, I cannot find my major in this school. Then, why didn't you research? Look into another school because it's not all school has the specific major. That's on the second part. There's a list of STEM design degree program. A lot of people say, I want to become a science. I want to pursue science major. But you have no idea. The federal government actually has such a long list for STEM major, 100 major of them. Federal government make a list of it. Even you are thinking about how can I increase the produce of apples. It's STEM major. How can I even, even medical things, even food, animal, that's all STEM major. widen your research. So if you want to, I know you already have read some of them. If you have any question, please ask. Let's start the conversation. Okay? Yes.
What is XAP?
Okay, SAP is a website. So example, we want to look into the university. We want to know what kind of college school for. For example, personally, I don't like university that's too big because I like more intimate relationship. So I can XAP is a website. You can look into specific profile of university in this country. So how big it is, what's the percentage of the of their students receive financial aid, where they are located, do they have a dormitory, do they have a recreation center so I can go there to work out. Even some famous professors, for example, if you guys want to pursue physics, based on what I know is that's one really famous, awarded physics professor at University of Houston. If you want to learn from specific scholar, you want to look into the kind of area. So XAP and college profile is the kind of website you want to do the research. I cannot do that for you because everybody's preference is different. And then also the transfer information. Now for the transfer part, you have to remember because your major is different. So when you apply for university, that's a general admission requirement. But for your major, your department, for example, every university call them different. Some call College of Science, some call Department of Mathematics. Different. But their requirement might be higher than general admission. So you want to look into the part based on your major too. And for the financial aid, I make some list there because I know many of you may be qualified for grants, many of you might qualify for loans, students, work study. But I think we are all scholars here. You guys are wonderful students. So not only based on those that based on need, you guys can get money based on your merits, based on your GPA. So that's why I make a list of scholarship, what kind of scholarship you can look into. Okay, so that's the information there. As a woman, I know, it's not fair for guys, but as a woman, I have to mention that. Especially women in the STEM fields. Even being woman, you can apply for scholarship. Trust me, I know that's a good thing about that, okay? There's a good thing about that. So even look into that based on your, specific reason. You never know, so just look into that. Any things you want to ask? Yes.
Okay, on the core complete, it says consider a minor after transfer.
Okay, because your STEM major, many of your major, for example, for engineering, many classes you won't able to take it unless you take the introduction of specific engineering classes.
Right.
But a lot of university, when they want a student to take those classes, they will let you take it with core classes. They call it a soft class. They call the core classes a soft. So you can take this semester, maybe one engineering introduction, one engineering class with your government, with your history. So once you complete a core, a lot of people go there and say, so what am I going to do? If I cannot take all engineering classes, I need to take something else. That's why I say consider a minor. That's two reasons. First of all, no matter what in your degree plan, you will have some elective. You can take whatever you want, and the elective just elective. So you can take those elective with your core. But now because the marketing is really competing, I would suggest you to have a minor. Why? For example, if you are engineering, you know how to write app, you know how to create something. But if you minor in business, you minor in marketing, when you are looking for job, you know something more. You are more valuable. For example, you want to do pharmacy in the future. But if you minor in chemistry, if you minor in biology, you actually taking more. In the future, not only going to the pharmacy company, you might even able to go to the lab to do research. So consider minor, it help you to build your degree plan. But you always want to talk to the advisor at the university because they will suggest you what kind of, minor is better. And if you want to become a scholar, you can minor in English, why not? Because you can write textbook. In the future, you can become a professor or whatever.
Well,
one thing to add to that, I spoke to some of you on Friday about when's the best time to go to the universities. As a transfer student, you want to be sure you're speaking with the right advisor. Those opportunities exist where there are specific transfer days. So I would suggest you go onto that website and find out when are those days. The other benefit is sometimes they waive the application fee, and as you know, they could be as high as $100 for that application fee. But you also have the opportunity where some will evaluate your transcript right then and there, ask you to bring it, and it will evaluate it, and will suggest sometimes, well, take a few more of these courses here at the community college. So that kind of planning needs to take place now, not tomorrow, but now. So find out, even if you can't, let's say you may have missed a transfer day, but they have a preview day coming up, seize that opportunity as well, okay? But most importantly, know that if you go on the transfer day, that would be of more value to you. Two, we tend to have students who say, this is the university I want to go to without going to visit that university. Somewhere in your plan, incorporate a time for you to visit that university. Even if it's outside that transfer day, where you can go and spend some quality time, speak with those instructors, speak with some of the students. I can't tell you enough about how important that is. What looks good on the outside may not be what you intended on the inside. Community college can be comfortable. You get to the university, it could be a different story. So you have to know that that was not a good fit for me, although it may have been the best school. That was not a good fit for me based on some other factors. Any questions?
Do you know how many credit hours will transfer to university?
Now it depends on the university, but on average, 30 hours plus would be considered a transfer student. You need to research that as it relates to that university, because you can go in with less hours, but you have to have a higher GPA. You may have to meet freshman requirements. You may have to do an essay. So it's very important. What's considered kind of on average for transfer students? It's usually 30 and above.
So you get your associate's degree, like at a community college. If you find classes that will transfer over, you should take them now, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Thank you, you got it. As a matter of fact, I'm going to give you this t-shirt because you got that. I know that t-shirt. Because the question is, when is the best time to transfer? Is it when I complete my core? Is it when I complete 30 hours? What about when I complete my degree? You need to be speaking with the universities, use our resources here. You can go to the DCCCD, and on the main page it says transfer, and we'll tell you about some resources that you need to be aware of, because you don't want to just go out, I have my degree. Well, there's some benefit had you planned, I mean, you all are already at a 3.8, 3.9, but if you can get a 4.0, imagine the benefit that comes with that. Plus you have your degree, so that's automatic admittance to the university. Not necessarily in the program, let me clarify that, but having a degree. So part of your planning is, when is the best time? You may decide to go into a program where you have to roll in at a certain cycle, okay? So it may be another year later. You need to plan when is the best time. Any other questions?
Can I come make an appointment to see you ladies personally?
We have transfer liaisons on each of the campuses because we're not in a position to advise. We know that sounds good and feels good, but we also provide that professional development. They have had ongoing training, so that's only fair that we have to say we can't do advising in our office. It's directing you to the right resources.
I'm like on my way to the next step. So do you think that it's more important for me to get my advising, like, advice from my next college, or do you think I should like wrap it up with
Both.
Dallas County?
Both. Both. They should meet in the middle. Both. Because they may find out you have an interest, and it's like, oh, she keeps coming to us, she's visiting with us, but yet she's telling me she's doing well, we're waiting on her last transcript. You know, I remember her visiting. There may be other scholarships that you would be considered for because they become familiar with you. And getting in on those mailing lists or the information or being enrolled concurrently, that puts you at a different place than others who are just filling out their application. When you're in that pipeline and 1,000 applications come through and you know that you can compete, you know you have the grades, but so do the other people. Well, what's the advantage? The advantage is the relationship that you've built, the articulation agreement that we have, and the fact that you've formed a a relationship with some people who might say, you know, I see an opportunity for the student. And she's speaking, but she was one of them where that's happened.
Most schools have like an agreement with the big colleges around here. Like I know, like personally, TWU has a program called TWU Bound. And when you start at Dallas County Community College, you can sign the agreement saying all the classes that I take here, I want to transfer them to TWU. And at first I was like, oh, this is a big deal, this is a big process, all that. I printed out the paper, I took it to admissions, the lady signed it, and I sent it to the people, and I'm done with it, and I'm in the program now. So it's like, it's really just a simple, everybody sign it, everybody agrees, and then you're in.
It's concurrent enrollment. You know, you expressed an interest, of course people will pay attention to you. But that's on our website, www.d, it's in the brochure, and that gives you step-by-step process for planning. But go to that website, which is actually the main page of the district. You'll find transfer. Or if you happen to be hanging out at eConnect, as long as you see the prompt transfer, then that's where you'll go. You'll see those articulation agreements, the concurrent agreements, steps on transferring. Everything we're telling you here, of course, is on the website. Yes, sir.
If you transfer and you have your associates, it says you qualify as core complete. How many credit hours is that?
42.
42.
42. He's saying, well, what happens if you complete and your degree and you're saying your core complete? A core is 42 hours. 42 hours. One thing about the core in the state of Texas for any public institution, yes, it automatically is accepted as a block. And private institutions have gotten on that bandwagon as well. But you need to have that conversation with them as well. Do I do 15 hours because I can get in that program and get with that cohort? Do I do the 30, 40, for the 42 for the core and come in? So those are kinds of questions that brochure will have you outline. And do that with several. Give yourself about 3 to 5 choices because you should be asking the same questions. They'll tell you if they're offering you something different because they want you.
I had a question about financial aid.
For financial aid, basically, remember the deadline is always March 31st. Okay, that's the first thing. When you apply, the first thing you want to do is always apply for financial aid. But you always have to remember, when we are talking about financial aid, we are not only talking about the federal government, the financial aid provided by federal government. You have a work study, you have a student loan, you have a grant you can apply. But also the most important is scholarship. When you have a specific GPA, when you apply for university, most of the time as a transfer student, more than 30 credits, the university will already, based on your GPA, give you a scholarship. If your transfer credits even higher, for example, Texas Tech, if you transfer with 60 college level credits, they give you $6,500 per semester. GPA 3.5. I know you guys have it. So, which means as long as you prove I am a completer, you're actually able to get more scholarship. But it's a general university scholarship. Always look into the specific major, the department, the college, because the kind of scholarship can pile up. So you actually, every semester, you can get more, okay?
Well, I was going to add in the PTK. So if you've been invited to be a part of that, you go to some universities, just because you're a member of PTK, you automatically get a scholarship. Remember that? Go to Transfer Day, go to our website. Thank you.
Well, what I've been asked to talk to you guys about a little bit today is really how to get the most out of your experience of being a STEM scholar. Okay? So, I'm going to tell you that scholarship money is one really nice side of it, right?
Yeah.
We like that, okay?
Love
That
it.
helps. And you absolutely like having a mentor because those mentors help you with those plans about what should I be doing next semester, how do I prepare to transfer. But the thing that I'm going to tell you, I think, is the most important about your experience in being a STEM scholar as a part of the STEM Institute is the relationships that you are going to build, okay? How many of you know everybody that's sitting around here right now? I know nobody here. I know you know at least some of them, right? Yeah. Okay, so you know some. Now I'm going to tell you that these people, you don't know 2 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, which of these people you're really going to want to call and have a connection with, okay? So it is now time to make sure that you know some more of them. So let's start with something. What's your name? Hi, William. I'm Peggy. Very nice to meet you. Okay. And that wasn't so painful. He did not die, did he? He's still here, and so am I. Okay. So it is not always easy to be a little bit forward and introducing yourselves all the time. And I always tell my students, I am naturally actually an extremely shy and very introverted person. So before the first day that I would teach a class, I never sleep the night before the first day of a semester. I'm so nervous, I'm so scared. And I'm literally shaking when I walk into the first day of class for a semester, okay? It's really hard for me to be able to feel real comfortable with people that I don't know. But it's been very important for me and all the things that I've done in my career to be able to overcome a little bit of that fear and to build a little bit of confidence in it. So, so now I could come up and shake hands with people. And just before I came here, I was at a reception where there were 50 people that I didn't know at this reception and one that I did. Okay? It's really hard for me to do that sometimes. But you overcome some of that and build relationships with people, because sometimes those relationships are going to do something really good for you. So at that reception, why am I going and meeting all these people? Because if I meet them, I might be able to open some doors for you and build opportunities for you. And that's why I get up every day. This is what my job is. I love it, okay? But it's hard. So what you can do is take the time to get to know the other STEM scholars, not just the ones from your own group with your own faculty mentor, but some of the others from the other colleges, from the other areas. Those relationships that you have are going to matter, okay? So we're going to take a minute right now. I can tell that you didn't all know each other. I want everybody to introduce yourself to somebody you don't know. Find out something about them.
Cecilia? I go by Cece. Bio?
Kurt.
Valeria.
Oh, okay.
Valeria's my teacher.
There you go. Tyler also?
Yes. So what are you doing? Okay.
So that wasn't so bad, was it? You're all still here. No one actually fell off of the stage. Oh, yeah. Everything's okay. So these relationships that you're building with each other are extremely important relationships. That's one of the main things you can get from the small STEM Institute is some relationships that will matter throughout your whole career. So get to know the fellow students. It's worth it. The other part I'm going to tell you, the relationship that you can build with the faculty fellow serving as your mentor, this relationship really matters, okay? If there are 50 people applying for a job, and they all have a really good GPA, and they all do really well at school, which one of them do you think is going to get the interview? One with a good relationship that led to the letter of recommendation, where the person was able to say more than, well, I think I kind of remember them, they must have been in my class, and my grade book says they got an A, but they don't know you, okay? The relationship you are building with the mentor is one where when you need that letter of recommendation 6 months from now, a year from now, even 2 years from now, they're going to remember you, and they're going to know about you and know that you are a passionate person, that you had career plans, that you were hardworking, that you were inquisitive. Those are the kinds of things that people really want to know in a letter of recommendation, okay? So don't have that relationship with your faculty mentor be the absolute minimum. Well, they said I have to come in and we fill this out, and okay, now we're done. Okay, go ahead and make sure that they really do know you and that you know them, because that's something where you can learn a lot of things from your faculty fellow that are going to help you in the long run. And they can, the more that they know you, the better they can advise you in the directions that you want to go. But that takes effort on your part. They can't do all of this if you are not stopping by even just to say hello. You don't have an appointment, but you're walking by in the hallway, hi! And it's like, hi, how are you, Dr. Bambro? Okay? She didn't bite or anything, look at that. Okay? So, say hello, occasionally drop by even for the 15 seconds. Just wanted to say hi, let you know I'm doing really well and things. Had this really interesting question that I want to talk to you about sometime. Could we make an appointment? And so if you take the time to not just wait for them to come to you, but you go to them, you will not regret that, I promise. That's one of the key reasons that we have a fairly small group in the STEM Institute, right? It's meant to be small so that you guys will have the opportunity to build those deep relationships. So relationships really matter, okay? And that's something that goes beyond the scholarship, beyond the specific, I'm gonna transfer here and here's my set of coursework side of things. Those are important, those are great. But the relationships are what are going to matter. Okay. The other thing that I'm going to tell you that we're working on is to help you guys continue to nurture those relationships. We're trying to make sure that we're going to develop almost an alumni network type thing among the STEM scholars. So when you guys are done, you're still going to hear from me for a long time. Okay. Please answer back when I'm sending you an email. If your email changes,
come back and help the kids that are
exactly. The
coming under
idea
us?
is that you all will be able to provide some advice back to the people that will follow, that we may continue to provide some things for you in terms of, we're aware of this opportunity. Did you all know about this? Did you know about these internships? Did you know about these things? So we'll try to nurture you. You can come back and nurture future scholars. And again, you don't know which parts of those relationships are really going to matter. So we'll try to help you. You help us to help the next group that comes along. It will be good for all of you if you do that, okay? So that's one of the things that you can have with something fairly small like this. This is really the part where, you know, there are how many students in our 7 colleges, like 82,000 or something like that. But there are only about 100 of you in this,
96, yeah.
okay? So this small group, it's as if you have your own small little private college right within the community colleges. This is the kind of thing that you do, that you go out and pay $30,000 a year in tuition for. But we're doing it here with you guys to give you that special thing. So take advantage of it. It's as if you're having that small private college education. It's worth doing. The other part that I'm going to tell you really matters, and again, this is not, it's not the kind of stuff you usually learn in class. It's what I'll just call good manners, okay? How often do you remember to say thank you to the people that work really hard with you? Do you thank your professors at the end of the semester?
They do.
Yes. Good. You need to do that. Have you ever written a thank you note to a professor that did a really good class for you?
Multiple.
Good.
Last time for chemistry last semester, all our class wrote a letter and a little card, and we got her some pastry. And literally, my professor, she cried and she said it was so nice because in a long time nobody had recognized her job. And on top of that, she said she thought we were the best class because we were like always laughing and stuff. And even though I made a B, I still love her. No,
That's good. It's okay. You know, a B means good. We're happy with that, right? Okay.
That
So
B
then-
was hard to get.
Yeah, sometimes the B's really matter, okay?
But what I was trying to say is that to us it meant a lot, but I didn't know how much it was going to mean to her. And that was really
It
made
means a
so
lot to
special.
people. It means a lot. So has it ever occurred to you maybe to write a thank you note to the folks that are supplying the money for your scholarships?
I have thought of that, but I don't know
Who is it?
who to send
Who
it
to send
to.
it to.
They had it on the slide the last
Yeah.
time.
And the people that are supplying the majority of the money right now for this program is a group called the Caruth Foundation. And if you guys would like to just say thank you to them, it would have that same impact that it did on that instructor. If you want to write a thank you note and just send it to me, I will get it to them, okay? You can say, Dear Caruth Foundation people, thank you so much for your generosity in providing this opportunity for me.
C-A-R-U-T-H.
You know? C-A-R-U-T-H.
The same as the road, you know,
Yeah,
Same as the road,
Haven.
okay?
Yeah, that's why that building is.
That kind of thing really matters. Or if you hear an absolutely wonderful presentation for our folks that are doing the transfer services, send them an email afterwards. Say, gosh, thanks for giving up your Thursday night when you had already worked all day long, for helping to share some things with us. Send them a short email afterwards and just say, I noticed. Because the people that say, I noticed, are the people that get remembered. This is just as good for you as it is for them. And you know, occasionally I still get a note from some of my students that I had many years ago. And when I get those notes, even if I was kind of tired, I was worn out, I was like, oh, I'm not sure I can do this. I get one of those notes and I'm back. Here I go. What can I do now? It really, really does make a huge difference, just like it did with your instructor. Okay? And it does. Sometimes it even brings tears to our eyes. We get so excited that we made a difference in somebody's life. So that's just part of professionalism, is to remember to say thank you to people that have helped you to learn something, to do your job better, to be a better student, whatever it is. Okay? So that's another part that you can get from thinking about what are we trying to do with the STEM Institute. We're trying to help you all be able to successfully go on to all the things you want to do. And that is by all means the classes and the scholarship money, but it's the things we're going to try to teach you beyond that that matter just as much. Okay? So think about some of those things. It really is a way to show that you are a professional person, recognizing that you are a part of something bigger than yourself, and that's going to be something that really will help you in everything you want to do. Okay?
So we want to send, I think we've already, do we send it to you?
If you want to just send things to me, I can get it to them.
Okay.
So if you guys would like to do that, I'm sure they would really appreciate
Drop
having
it off at the foundation.
Yeah, you can.
Or you can give it to your
Give it to your mentors, and the mentors can get them to me. Yeah,
The shadow.
absolutely.
This is the last session, or
Yeah, they don't ring the bell for you to start. You just start.
You missed that session. Those of you in the back may want to move up. Our last group needed to move up just to here, so.
Oh, I love your shirt.
Oh, well, thank you. Be curious, get it? Curious. Okay. I had to explain it to my class today. Like, who's that? Did she do DNA? Only the only person to get 2 Nobel Prizes in 2 different subjects. Thank you.
Woman.
And she was a woman. Even better.
she was in the wrong place at the wrong time?
She was. She was actually a very hated woman.
Well,
And that was quite frankly because she was a woman in science at a time when women weren't supposed to be scientists. So.
Okay, hello everyone. Why you are sitting over there? You may come here, and then I go over sit over there.
I'm heckling.
Thank you for doing that. So, hello everyone. I don't know what does that title mean, STEM faculty fellow. It means something. But they told me that I need to talk. When I asked about what, he said, Anthony, that gentleman over there, he said that come up with something. Okay, good. I guess now I am making it up. Let's start introducing ourselves. This time I start from my left. I'm surrounded by 2 nice ladies, and I have to say yes, ma'am. I learned that in my life.
Hello everyone, my name is Sharon Johnson and I'm a math professor at Eastfield College.
And I am Rahman Gamasai. I teach math at North Lake College.
And I'm Heather Appleby. I teach astronomy and physics at Richland College, so I'm the different person.
So I guess all of you have been exposed to that title. At least you met your mentor once. If not, he or she is in trouble, not you. How many of you have regular meetings with your mentor? You don't have to raise your hand, but usually that is kind of expected from your side.
By regular, you mean like
Meeting means, what is definition of meeting? Are you a mathematician?
how many times?
Oh, regular. How many times? I don't know. Depends your relationship. Remember, mentorship is a relationship that you establish with your mentor. Correct? You work together. Usually, I tell my mentees that, you know, I like to see you, but please do not bother me. That's how it works. Correct? This semester, I'm lucky. My mentees, except one, they are all my students. So I see them in a regular, this usually does not happen. Am I right?
Yeah.
Last semester, or last year, I had students from 3 colleges. It was beautiful, I mean, but time consuming. Right now, I see my students at least twice a week. And from academic point of view, I have no trouble controlling them. From other parts, which I believe that part is more important to me, which is some sort of what is going on in their life. That part I have to work a lot to really be their mentor. My expectation, I believe my colleague expectations is that when you leave us and you go to university, you keep this connection. Why? Because we believe you have potential to become a big guy, a big lady in this country. At least get a job at Austin as a legislator.
Or the federal government, either one.
Or either. And then try to support education. Because you have gone through a good training, what does a good education mean? You are the best of best that we have. What does it mean? Should we leave?
So what questions?
Do you know how many? Do you know how many students DCCD has?
82,000.
Thank you. I didn't
She's
expect
good.
that, but she's young. I know her uncle, and probably he told her. And how many of them are in this program?
96.
Okay, good. So then you know your position, your value, your standing, correct? And therefore we expect, that's our expectation, that from these 96, almost all of them, they will succeed in their life, and then they come back and help us. By that time, I am retired, I know. But she will be here.
Not. Hopefully it won't take that long.
Oh no, I am talking about, for example, you become
Become a
Secretary
rock
of
star in your own
Education.
field.
I can become a rock star just tomorrow.
There you go.
We're set.
Okay, I guess I
We've
spend
done
my
our
share
job.
of time, then I leave it to ladies to continue the rest of it.
Do you guys have any questions for us?
What were you? Never mind.
I think she was asking what are you doing here? Why you are here? That was yes.
I just didn't know how to say it.
Go ahead, Sharon. Rephrase the question.
So let me just ask this. When you said regular meetings with your mentor, like for all of my mentees, I meet with them once a month, and that's the schedule we came up with during our mentoring plan, when we set up our mentoring plan. Last year, I had a student that met with me every 2 weeks. She wanted to because she was making sure she was doing everything she needed to get done for that year, and I kept her the whole year. So for that year, she wanted to make sure because she was transferring, she transferred for the fall. So we wanted to make sure we had everything set up. Any questions, answers that I didn't know, we had time to figure out who to go ask to get the questions answered. So when we're saying meeting times is what you set up with your mentor when you set up your mentoring plan. So because everybody has pretty busy, this semester is once a month. And if you need to drop in before then, you just send an email or you call or you make some kind of contact. So as long as you're meeting regular, and that's just to help you stay on track for whatever goals or plans you have for the year.
How many of you have started looking at things such as applications for financial aid? Anybody?
I do have a question about that, if
Yeah.
you don't mind. I'm older than most of the STEM scholars, so my husband has a job, and thank goodness he makes fairly good money. So sometimes I don't know if I even have to do the application for financial aid, because I don't know that I'm really gonna get anything out of that.
But you don't know.
But you don't know until you try.
Yes.
And here's something to consider. Because you are a non-traditional student, there are actually going to be opportunities for you that are only available for you that a person who is 18, 20 won't have, because they are a traditional student. And the reason for that is because you've got a past history, you've got that past experience in the workforce or whatever you have done, military, what have you, that is going to be valuable. And if someone's going to want to see that, it also means that you're probably more likely to stick with your education.
Yeah.
Okay? Whereas, let's be honest, if you're 18, just out of high school, what's the chance that you're going to finish? The statistics aren't that great. You have already shown that you're in this community college, you're a part of this program. Now add to that the fact that you're a non-traditional student. That means that you have a very good chance of sticking to it. So some universities are going to look at you in a very good light. Don't think it's a negative thing to be non-traditional. So I would say still apply. Most people cannot afford the bill for university
We
by
can't
themselves.
either. Don't take me wrong.
Yeah.
It's just that I'm thinking,
So don't think that just because of XYZ I'm not qualified. No, that may actually make you more qualified for some scholarships, like I said, that could be out there.
Okay, good, thank you.
I think all the scholarships, almost all of them, they require that FAFSA form. It has to go through Office of Financial Aid. Most of them. There are some few that did. So therefore, if you have that application ready, just in case if there is a money that you are qualified, you can get it faster before it's gone.
Yeah.
And I recommend that to I have two daughters, they are at college. They don't receive any money, but I always encourage them. Make these applications ready, just in case if you have 2 minutes, you can turn it in.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
But some of us do not have the opportunity to fill out the FAFSA. Like me, I'm international student.
If
so
you are international student in that 2 minutes that is left, if you get, this is what I learned today. If you receive equivalent of 2,000 any sort of scholarship from these universities, contact those people, they will tell you. For example, if you are a member of Phi Theta Kappa, then easily you can get that money if you're active, if you're an officer, not just a member. If you do something for that and you can get recommendation from your advisor in that group, $2,000 will be given you to all into regions of that part. Then when you receive that money as an international student, as somebody out of state, not international, out of state student, your out of state tuition will be waived. You become in state. And you're talking about almost half of that money.
How do you do that? Sorry, because I'm an international student
As well?
too.
How do you know that?
Yeah.
That's my job. They pay me to do these things. I learned it today from one of my international students. So it is, I guess it is valid because when he told me, he already applied for that. And not today, I'm joking. I had students last year that
We have only 1 minute left, son.
okay, 1 minute left. So when you get that $2,000 from any of the state universities under any title, then you become in a state.
Really?
Yeah.
So what? Yes, really.
They change your status from out of state to in state. Your tuition drops. by
But
half.
you need to ask for it. It is not something
Yes.
automatic.
It's not automatic.
If you are out of state student, then they treat you as in a state, therefore your tuition will be reduced. And they use that $2,000 towards in a state tuition. Almost at UT Arlington, you pay $2,000, a little bit more than $2,000 per semester. I guess it's a good deal. Is it really good deal?
Something else to think about, REU programs, which are summer internships. Those deadlines are coming up January through March. REU programs, and they usually come with a little stipend. REU, Research for Undergraduate Education or something like that.
I have a handout that I obviously don't have enough of. But I'm going to send around this list. If you want to share your email address with me, I will send you this document electronically in email, and everybody will have it. How about this? I'll start with you. If you don't want to put your email address down and you just want to pick it up with Anthony, I'll be happy to give it to Anthony and let him know about this. Okay, so I have this title Career Services, but it's really not my job. So I'm kind of an imposter, no, joke. Career service is something that's really important to me, building your career. Many of you look so young, so I'm assuming many of you, you're welcome. High school hasn't been that long ago. So it hasn't. It's all relative. My dad wants to be 107, so we're still young. So, but up until high school and after high school, people have been telling you what to do, how to do it, when to do it, where do you go to school at, and everything. Well, now kind of like we're free birds, and so with this freedom comes a responsibility, because now we have to really work on who do we want to be in the future. What do you like? What do you want to do? Obviously, you picked career fields already, because I saw a list of everybody, I saw astrophysicists, I saw mathematicians, I saw biochemistry, I saw a whole bunch of different things. When you pick your career, the most important thing about your career is actually you. Who are you? What drives you? What's important to you? What are you passionate about? What do you love to do? It's really important. This is about you, because about 8-9 hours a day, you're going to have to come to work, no matter where you are, no matter what you're going to do. Whether you work from home, or you're in an office, or you're in a research lab, you're going to work. If money drives you, and you think you should pick a job by an occupation salary expectation, be very careful, because I can promise you, there's very few professions where you get paid every day. and most of those professions you probably wouldn't like anyway. I get paid once a month. So if I don't like my job, 30 days out of the month, and shorter months, maybe only 29 days out of the month, I would be a very unhappy camper. So please, please don't let money be your only motivator. Now, we all have lifestyles we want to live. So let this be your guidance. If you know I want to have a certain amount of money, this is kind of where I want to go, then you probably want to start with occupations. You want to look at ONET online, and that's one of the resources I'll be sending you. And you want to see what people make in those certain professions and in certain parts of the country. So, but then, what if that job is something that pays a lot, but you hate doing? My background is computer programming. It pays very well, especially if you want to do database programming. It pays very well. But I don't like to sit there and crunch code. That does not excite me. That does not motivate me. Now, was I good at it? Yeah, I would say I was pretty good at it. I knew 8 different programming languages. I delivered on time, no questions asked. But I was never great at it. I never was the one that came up with this bomb program that just, oh my God, blew everybody away. I wasn't the one that would have developed Facebook because I only crunch the code that I have to crunch. Now, I love teaching other people about how to use the computers, how to use smart technology, doing things like this. Absolutely love it. I love it so much, I do it for free. So it's what you do with what you know that's going to determine how far you're going to go. So the first person and the most important person and the most important issue you have to solve first is you have to know who you are. What do you like to do every day? For a very long time. Because looking at how young you are, you're going to work longer than I have to still work. So, I know that for a fact. So, and then your life is changing. When my parents were coming along, they could say, I'm going to come to this company and I'm going to work there and I'm going to get that retirement and I'm going to get that golden watch and whatever else. That's not the case anymore. I'm already at my 4th or 5th career. Not talking about jobs. I've moved across countries. I've moved across the ocean. So your life is going to change and you better be ready for it. So what I'm asking you to do is have some sense, have a focus, be deliberate in your decisions. Don't let careers happen to you. It's not something that should happen to you. It's something you should own. It's something you should do something about. You shouldn't wait whether or not I'm going to hire you and then maybe you can become a supervisor or maybe you can grow in the company. You should know where you want to go, who you want to work for, what do you want to do there. And if you don't like it, you should feel free and confident that you can move on. Don't get yourself stuck. You're too young for this. Even at my age, I don't want to feel stuck. I want to come every day and like what I'm doing because I want to build something else. I want to create something else. So you want to drive this. So if you don't know exactly what drives you, what motivates you, you could look at things like, well, what would you do for free? Where would you volunteer at? If it's totally up to you, it's not a project and a class project and you're going to get some extra credit for it. No, what would you do for free if it was up to you? That gives you a sense about what would motivate you. Do some assessments. The resource I'm going to send you, there's going to be a couple of different assessments. And please Google it because there's so many out there that if I put them all in here, you'll probably say this woman is insane. I still have school to do too. So I tried to kind of limit it. So I deleted a couple again because I did go a little bit overboard. But you want to know, what are some things that you never thought that you liked? Women and men, we're very different what motivates us. But we can all be great at science. But if I tell you to build a car, a little model car, and I want this to be the fastest and strongest and most durable, and then I need you to race it to the end of the wall and hit it against the wall and leave a mark or a dent, and then I know it's a good tool. That doesn't motivate me. But if you tell me, well, you built that motor that can pump the water out of the deepest layers of the earth. So women and children in foreign countries don't have to carry the water miles and miles through treacherous countryside and stuff. Oh yeah, that's going to motivate me. We're building the same thing. We're using the same tools, but different things will motivate us. So understand about you, about yourself, what motivates you. Then the next thing, what are you good at? What are you already good at? Are you good at taking notes? Are you good at following directions? Are you good at giving directions? What are some things? Do you like to tinker? Do you like to build something from scratch? Do you like to take it apart? I was always good at taking things apart. It just putting it together and it didn't work so great. There was always things left over. But I love taking things apart, and I did it, very much to the dismay of my parents. But nevertheless. So know these things about you, because those are transferable skills. And then start looking at occupations. ONET Online, which is a resource that's going to be on this binder, is going to give you some sense about different occupations. It will tell you, what do you need to do to work in this occupation? How much money can you make? What is the outlook? Most of you still have, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years left in school? Well, so you need to project out. You need to know that job that you're planning to have is not just going to be there in 5 years, but in 10 years and 15 years. So plan for them. Thank you. Sorry, we're running out of time.
I just wanted to say a quick thank you to all of the scholars and the mentors for being here, engaging in conversation, being very attentive. I did get a chance to walk around the room. The questions being asked were wonderful. The information being shared was fantastic as well. So thank you. If you would please grab any trash that you may see and put it in the receptacle. Otherwise, I need to do that. And it's just me, and there's a lot of you, so you can do it way faster. I did want to say a special thank you to our You Teach representatives. There was a lot of traffic and a few misdirections and things like that. And so University of Texas at Dallas really took control of it, and we certainly appreciate your willingness to do that and sharing great information with the students. At this time, I want to turn the microphone over to Dr. Shattuck, our District Director for the STEM Institute, so she can give closing remarks. Thank you.
Wow, microphone and everything. Okay, I just wanted to say to everybody, I hope that you got something out of whichever of the stations that you went to. Make sure that you then think about what you got from that tonight, reflect on it a little bit. STEM scholars, follow up with a good discussion with your mentor. Even if your faculty fellow was not able to be here tonight, make sure you take the time to tell them what you learned and to take it to the next step. And I know that the faculty fellows are going to be asking you about what you got out of tonight's event. So do follow up with it. Don't let it just end when you walk out the door, but take it into a discussion that makes you think a little bit more deeply than you did about something, whatever it was for you before you came in here tonight, all right? So everybody be safe on your way home, and thank you for being here tonight.